Hey, I'm a student occupational therapist here to talk to you about mental health. I'm going to explain a really easy technique that you can use to help avoid a mental health crisis before it even happens. But before we begin, we need to paint a picture of what's going on in British Columbia. Did you know that self-reported mental health in British Columbia is among the worst in Canada? And from 2009 to 2017, there was an 86% increase in hospitalizations for mental health issues of youth under 25 years of age. Generally, people only seek help for mental health challenges when they're in crisis mode. The skill I'm going to teach you today can help fix these problems before they even begin. We're going to focus on students, because as a student myself, we all know how stressful, anxiety-inducing, and downright miserable the school grind can be. Students constantly have heightened emotions, whether it's due to stress from academic pressure, finances, or career uncertainty. Sometimes we're unaware of how these stresses affect our emotions, and it can lead us to behave in ways that we don't like yelling at our partner, or eating an entire bag of chips in one sitting, and sometimes even failing a test. The skill I'll teach you today is sensory modulation. This technique is important because 1 in 5 post-secondary students have a mental health condition, but they don't have the time for traditional counseling. Sensory modulation is an easy and accessible tool for students to self-soothe emotions before and during an emotional crisis. Sensory modulation requires introspection into the triggers that cause us to feel emotionally overwhelmed. Then we discover which sensations can de-escalate our emotions. Everyone has their own unique sensory diet, and it helps to take some time to reflect on what sensations work for you.
In an individualized program, we use a standardized assessment, the Adult Sensory Profile. Using a standardized assessment makes the intervention evidence-based. The purpose of this assessment is to determine how you react to different stimuli. This is necessary because not all stimuli are objectively soothing. For example, classical music can be very irritating to some or calming to others. Similarly, weighted blankets might make some people feel trapped and others feel comforted.
The purpose of understanding how different stimuli makes you feel is to use that knowledge to keep you in your zone of tolerance. The zone of tolerance looks like this. In essence, if you are below the zone, you are feeling sleepy and bored, and if you are above the zone, you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. Being in the zone of tolerance feels like your brain is excited and ready to take on the task at hand. Research shows that people's sensory preferences fall into 4 main categories: low registration, sensation seeking, sensory sensitivity, and sensation avoiding. Your sensory preferences impact how you will alert yourself to the task at hand or calm yourself down during stressful times.
In order to help ourselves enter and stay in the zone of tolerance, we can alert or calm ourselves through our senses, which include visual, auditory, taste, smell, and touch.
Let's walk through an example. If we use the example of test preparation, I know beforehand that it's going to be stressful. I also know that I'm a sensory avoiding person, which means that I'm easily overstimulated and function better when I have less sensory input. With this in mind, I prepared a kit to help me manage the experience. My sensory kit includes calming visual sensations like having plants in my study area and working in spaces with ambient or low lighting. To reduce auditory stimulation, I wear noise-canceling headphones or turn on white noise. In my kit, I also keep a pack of gum to chew on to adjust my tactile stimulation. Remember that my needs are unique to me. You might like background noise where I find it overwhelming. By preparing a sensory kit and being aware of how situations affect you, you can be better prepared to handle emotionally distressing situations and more confident that you can handle your stress.